One of the things that they sell the most of, whether it be in a grocery store or a pharmacy, are things for digestion and elimination. I wonder why. So, now, however, I want you to know that toxic substances originate in the normal metabolic activities of the cells of our body. The body tries to break down all these substances in order to use their component parts to form the substances we really need to maintain good health. However, in the process, it leaves behind what it can't use or doesn't want. Leftovers or chemical reactions are a major source of toxic residue, which must be eliminated so the rest of the body can function efficiently. One would ask, well, why can't the body detox itself? It does to a great extent. If it didn't, we wouldn't live as long as we do, considering the foods that we eat and our lifestyle, and let's not forget the environment, and then the list goes on from there. I believe that the body should be kept like a Roto-Rooter. Not all substances are dumped out of the body. Rather, they must stand in line and wait their turn to exit the body through limited avenues. It should be stated that some of the damage from toxic substances occurs while you are waiting for them to be eliminated. Another way for toxic substances to overload the system is by increased ingestion of a particular kind of food, or even a chemical such as preservatives, food additives, insecticides, pesticides, herbicides, and industrial chemicals. It is reported by some that there may be more than 1 million industrial chemicals constantly available in our daily environment that weren't there 50 years ago. What a shock to one's body, huh? For the most part, our bodies have no way of dealing with these chemicals. Some of them are cumulative, building up to toxic levels over a period of time. So it must be understood that toxicity can be created by too much of something as well as too little of something. For example, sugar is a nutrient. Too much of it causes considerable damage. Too little of it causes other vital structures to be broken down by chemical actions to create sugar required for energy. This reduction process, which is like breaking down proteins to create sugar, as an example, can yield many toxic metabolites. People who undergo weight reduction programs to lose weight don't realize that in order to lose 10 pounds of body fat, the body must kill it or change it to something else and eliminate it. In the process of breaking tissues down, toxic metabolites can be created and must be dealt with. As a society, we live by the all or none philosophy, which means if you do a potentially detrimental act such as, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, etc., and it doesn't kill you before you walk out the door, it must be safe. We carry the philosophy into our eating habits and shrug our shoulders when someone points out that eating devitalized processed foods is not good for us. Since we have been eating them for the last 20, 30 years, we believe that if they were going to hurt us, they would have done so long ago. Another all or none concept is that if you lose weight, it must be only fat that you lose. The real facts: your diet pulls less fuel into the body than the body needs to perform its regular tasks, and many different tissues will be broken down, including brain, heart muscle, spleen, joint structures, and especially and immediately the liver. So stopping food intake for just 24 hours can result in the liver reducing its size by 20%, and fat loss could double in 48 hours. So this is why I don't endorse prolonged fasting. The toxic problem of fat loss. When and if fat is broken down by dieting or exercise, it could release stored insecticide residues into the blood. This occurs because fat deposits are where insecticides and pesticide chemicals are stored in the body. While encased in fat, they often cause little or no problem. But disrupting the fat deposits can cause a spontaneous release, which can cause an immediate toxicity that didn't exist prior. It is also the reason many people who either begin a vigorous exercise or diet regimen often feel very down in physical health during the first few days or even weeks. The toxic overload is just too much for their body. Fortunately, the body usually is able to eliminate these toxins and everything works out fine. Infection is another form of toxicity. Infection enters the body primarily through food, water, skin, and air. Fungi, molds, bacteria, parasites, and viruses are entering the body all the time, usually in levels that can be handled by the immune system. That is, if it's working correctly. Not long ago, a news station in San Diego indicated that as many as 10 people a day die of bacterial infection from chicken, meat, and fish ingestion. I bet a lot of you are getting nervous now, huh? It is reported that tens of thousands of people become ill from tainted foods, and as many as 50,000 Americans die per year from infections they receive while in hospitals. These microorganisms, which reside in your body, consume fuel. Your body will secrete or excrete these toxic metabolites, which you must detoxify. We, unfortunately, live in a poisonous world, and anything we can do to assist the body in detoxifying it is a worthy enterprise. So, what are the major detoxification routes of the body? Let's start with the liver, which is one of the most important organs for building up and tearing down chemical created by the body. There are certain nutrients the liver requires in large amounts to facilitate this function. Supplying these nutrients in supplemental form can greatly support the liver's function. For example, anything, nutrient or poison, which enters the body must be dealt with by the body. Even something as important as vitamin C must be dealt with when entering the body. Your body chemistry uses a particular amino acid molecule to prepare vitamin C. It takes one molecule of glutathione to prepare one molecule of vitamin C. Glutathione is made up of 3 amino acids. So you may ask, does this mean that 3 amino acid molecules would be taken out of service for every molecule of vitamin C absorbed? It would appear so. Thus, any health program or detoxification program should include an abundance of these amino acids. Now we'll get on to the bowel. In another major detoxification organ, but only as long as it is moving adequately, which means good circulation. If certain kinds of molecules, especially highly charged minerals, enter the blood in abundance, the electrical properties of the blood can change. By becoming less negative, red blood cell platelets and even white blood cells can begin to stick together, forming larger and larger clumps, which makes it very difficult to pass through these very tiny vessels. Blood circulates through tubes, which are called blood vessels. These range in size from 1 inch in diameter to 2 microns in diameter. The smallest vessels are called capillaries. The smallest capillaries are in the spleen. The smallest capillaries in the spleen are 2 microns in diameter, very small. Eventually, all the blood must flow through these invisible to the naked eye tubes. Believe it or not, red blood cells flow through these small vessels, 1 cell at a time in a folded shape. If there are clumps consisting of dozens or even hundreds of red cells, the movement of blood through small blood vessels will be reduced. If the blood flow is reduced, this reduces the nutrition and oxygen it carries to the cells. If the blood flow is reduced, elimination of toxic metabolites will be reduced and carbon dioxide elimination will be reduced. Maintaining adequate blood flow throughout the body is especially important in a detoxification program. Certainly exercise, any body movement increases blood flow. Certain nutrients in proper dilution and combinations can restore normal electrical potential in the body and unclump the cells, resulting in an increase in blood flow. You know, if you think of your body as a circuit board, you might feel a little tired here one day or a little something else one day, or women, you might say, well, gee, it's just before my period. But all these are, think of it, your body as a little circuit breaker going on, and it keeps getting a hit and keeps getting a hit, and then all of a sudden one day, boing, it has a blackout. That's pretty much what I'm trying to tell you, how important each of these organs are. And it's just not a matter of eating and going to the bathroom and the rest is just luck. It's a process, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. So we're going to talk about the kidneys. Any major detoxification organs, as long as they are not overloaded and working properly, perhaps the most important function of the kidneys is to assist in the removal of excess positively charged minerals from the body. To accomplish filtration and mineral removal adequately, the kidneys must have a good blood supply and there must be enough water in the system. Again, we're talking about drinking. Remember how I talked about dehydration and people not wanting to drink enough water? It's vital, it's vital, it's vital. The daily requirement for normal body and kidney function is far more than most people think or drink. 2 to 3 quarts of water intake from food and drink are necessary to maintain optimal health. Generally, water from food is pure. Generally, water from the environment and the public water supply is toxic and loaded with industrial and agricultural poisons. A person drinking enough tap water to maintain optimum health will indeed probably lose their health. Water is a chemical and must be consumed in its purest and cleanest form. The use of purified bottled water or superfiltration of all drinking, cooking, and shower or bathing water is vital in an industrial society such as ours. An excellent long-term investment in your home is a whole house water filtration system. This should not be looked at as a luxury purchase, but a life-enhancing purchase. It's all about investing in your health now. Now I want to talk a little bit about oxygen, which is a very effective detoxifier. It is safe to say that few of us get enough oxygen to maintain optimal health. In my practice, I use a lot of oxygen. I use it in capsule form, I use it in liquid form, simply because people, you'll notice yourself, and this is a great example, if you've ever been aggravated, which of course we all have, all of a sudden you find your breath is shorter. If you're overweight, you find that you're not breathing as deeply as you should, and you're almost like that. This is very important. It means you're not getting enough oxygen into the lung linings of your body. If we want more oxygen, we ordinarily have only one resource: to breathe more. It's very difficult to voluntarily breathe deeply more than once or twice, usually at great intervals. And ultimately, it shouldn't make much difference unless there's an internal need for it. I will, as we go on, do a program on stress, and I will give you a great stress exercise to do that you can do at home throughout the day if you feel that you're aggravated or something's not working out right for you and you just need a little time out. This is a very easy breathing exercise that costs nothing and takes just a couple of minutes to do. People who exercise, jog, or run will quickly begin breathing faster and deeper. Why? To provide more oxygen because it is needed for fuel conversion and to eliminate more carbon dioxide created as a waste product. Ordinarily, people aren't going to get more oxygen through breathing because of a sludge blood, referred to earlier as low hemoglobin, which doesn't allow the oxygen offered by the lungs to be picked up, or because they have poor lung capacity, because of lack of exercise. So now you're going to hear me talk a lot about exercise in the next few weeks. And that doesn't mean you have to go to the gym and be a nut about it, just a little bit every day. And those who create a physiological need for more oxygen are going to breathe more environmental air and all the toxins it carries. Now, isn't that a sad scenario? One answer to get more oxygen in your environment is to create it with an ozone generator. An answer to airborne poison is to filter the air you breathe with a proper filtration system. An answer to more oxygen in the blood is to drink in an absorbable form. Drinking, supplementing, stabilized forms of hydrogen peroxide is an excellent source of increasing oxygen in the blood. Oxygen oxidizes, which means breaks down and converts toxins very effectively and efficiently. So let's just sum up what I've been talking about today. Toxemia is a potential problem for most of us. It will sap your energy and reduce our resistance to other problems that might affect us. Stringent diets may increase rather than decrease the level of certain toxins. We need to consider assisting the liver to cleanse itself. Our bowels often are sources of self-induced toxicity. We can have blood sludge, which decreases our ability to detoxify greatly. Our kidneys are a major detoxification organ, but require more water than most people consume. Oxygen can be considered the most effective and efficient detoxification ingredient known to man. And so with this, I've given you a lot to think about, maybe more than you wanted to think about, but at least you know some of the things that you can start yourself today. And in a few weeks, I will have up on my website a toxic questionnaire that you can do free. Just get on drhenry.com and look under questionnaire and just fill it out, and it'll give you some answers that you may need to say, you know what, it's time for me to start doing something about my body from the inside out. I thank you.